And so I finally did. It took 7 years of research. And as I was finishing that one day, and I was thinking, I'm through writing forever. Thank goodness, because that was a struggle for me. And I was in Burger King for breakfast because it was across the street from my office. The first book was on heaven. The second and all the rest of them were on spiritual warfare. And that began with this Burger King story. I call this story The Atheist at Burger King. But I was reading my Bible in a public place, and this guy walks in, assuming I'm a preacher. And he was a retired professor from Stanford. And he said, where do you preach, son? And I said, well, sir, I'm not a minister. I'm just a business guy. And he sits down in the booth with me, uninvited, which is okay, but weird. And he started to say some strange things about the Bible that really got my attention. And I had just read 2 verses that I'd never noticed before. 1 John 4, verse 3, and 2 Corinthians 12, verse 3. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 3. Both of them say, if a man can't say Jesus is Lord, then he doesn't have the Holy Spirit. He's got an evil spirit. Yeah. Because you have to have the Holy Spirit to be able to say Jesus is Lord. And as this guy was saying some weird things about the Bible, I felt the voice in my head say, test that on this guy. See if he can say Jesus is Lord. So I tried to gently interrupt him and ask him that question, is Jesus Lord? And he, when I asked him, is Jesus Lord, he started screaming and running around Burger King and screaming at me, no, Jesus is not Lord. Who's Jesus? I don't know who Jesus is. I'm wasting my time talking to you. And I looked up and said, sir, I'm going to pray for you that someday you can know Jesus as Lord. And that made him furious. So he ran up to me with gritted teeth, leaning over me, spitting in my face, shaking his finger. He says, don't you dare pray for me. And I said, I can do it right now. You can't stop me. And I don't know why I did that, but I did. And the Burger King workers were like, the drive-thru's backing up, And so when I told him I could pray for him right now, he screamed again and ran out of Burger King and slammed the door. It's a metal frame and a glass door. I thought it was going to break, and ran to his car. And we're all watching him, me and the Burger King workers. I'm the only one in the dining hall. When he got in his car and backed up and threw it in drive, he burned rubber, and it was only 50 yards to the highway. And that made me realize spiritual warfare in the modern world is real. And my prayers are powerful. He's terrified of me praying for him, or what's in him is terrified.
Right.
And so that made me go, okay, now I need to start working on a book about the power of prayer and spiritual warfare